Welcome to the nation's capital. Tonight, it's the 100th regular season match of the inaugural season of USL Super League, and it features DC Power FC and second place Dallas Trinity. Alongside former Colombian international Chelsea Cabarcas, I'm Josh Appel, and Chelsea, after a week off, they've had some time to marinate on it. The first spring season win for DC 1-0 at Brooklyn.
DC secured their first win of the spring season and did it on the road. Despite the circumstances, the team showed resilience, playing some quality football. They weren't afraid to take shots from distance, focused on keeping possession, and really let the ball do the work. I liked what I saw from this group.
Gianna Gorley has been a massive addition for this DC Power squad. 9 appearances, 6 goal contributions, leads the team with 5 goals.
5 goals, 1 assist, and 9 appearances. She's making her mark in her first pro season on loan from Fort Lauderdale. She's been gaining valuable experience. That's what's important. It's starting to show. Her movement off the ball has been precise. The goal against Brooklyn last week was a perfect example. She read the play beautifully, took 2 quick steps to peel away, and really timed her run. These type of things happen with experience.
And they're running into a Dallas team, second place in the table. DC will try and play spoiler tonight, but for Dallas, they lead the league in the second half this season in goal scoring.
This team is dangerous, but it's also a bit concerning. 25 of their 38 goals have come in the second half, which tells me that they're reactive, not proactive. They find their rhythm late, and that's risky. Against teams like Tampa Bay or Carolina Ascent, that don't really allow you to settle, so that could be a problem.
Well, we know Allie Thornton is second in the Golden Boot race, but Chioma Obugagu is one of the top contributors on this team as well. Her 4 goals, she got those 5 assists, tied for second most in the league.
Josh, I really enjoy watching her play. She's got an excellent vision and a strong sense of positioning that sets her up for her next move. If you watch her closely, she's constantly scanning the field when off the ball, head on a swivel, and it just shows her experience and that intelligence on off the ball, and it's fun to watch.
Well, the top 2 in USL Super League standings will clinch home field advantage. Dallas, with only 3 games remaining, including tonight, would love to create some breathing room in the table. Fourth and final meeting between DC Power and Dallas Trinity coming up next.
How does Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Back to the nation's capital, Audi Field in Washington, D.C. Tonight, it's the 4th and final meeting in 2025 between Dallas Trinity and DC Power. Josh Appel, Chelsea Cabarcas with you as we take a look at our starting 11s tonight. First for DC interim head coach Phil Nana. Here's how they look in front of Morgan Aquino.
It's a team that executes their formation really well, but just hasn't had luck converting that into victories. You can expect them to work hard off of each other. They have a strong sense of unity. In their last game, they really emphasized possession and movement, which is when they found the most success. This is going to be a fun game to watch as they both prioritize possession.
And for Pauline McDonald and Dallas Trinity, they're coming off of a frustrating 1-0 loss on the road at Tampa, hoping to bounce back tonight.
Dallas is coming out in a 3-5-2 with a tight, disciplined back three that defends zonally and rarely shift into a back four. That consistency is because of their strong communication and organization. When extra cover is needed, Palomo or Ubogago comes in, and they rotate really well in the center mid, giving that double pivot.
Allie Thornton up top, second in the Golden Boot race. There's Pauline McDonald. Great conversation with her this week. 11 wins, 7 losses, 7 draws. Hoping to bounce back, as we said. Didn't think they were the best version of themselves against Tampa Bay. So we're about to get underway here from Audi Field. Caitlin Trowbridge is our referee. Phil Nana, the interim head coach for DC. 1-6-3. They did win, of course, last week against Brooklyn, 1-0. They have certainly had a lot of growth since he took over, and it's been noticeable. Pauline McDonald spoke to us about that. Caitlin Trowbridge, a referee, Sharon Gingrich and Shauna Forstall, the assistant referees, and Marie Durr is the 4th official tonight. So we get the go-ahead, and Celie Strawn gets us underway from Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for being with us. Tonight is the 100th game in USL Super League. It's the final meeting between these two teams this season. D.C. trying to play spoiler, although that's not what's on their mind. Phil Nana saying this week they're just trying to take it each game at a time. They've got 5 games left, including tonight, 4 against teams that are still contending for the postseason. They're not going into it with the mindset of, all right, let's spoil it for the others. They're trying to still get better and develop in their own right.
It's going to be really important to see which team really sets the tempo the first 5 minutes of the game. Who wins the first, the second ball, the headers. Really come out to mark their territory to see which team is going to adapt.
Always tough to play on the road, and these 3 previous matchups between these sides have all been decided by a goal. Dallas a win, no losses, 2 draws in the previous 3. As DC can't connect there, it'll be a throw-in for Dallas. Dallas played up a player for the majority of the match against Tampa Bay. Felt they needed to move it a bit quicker. They looked a bit tentative, didn't stay composed in possession. No real flow to the match, and McDonald hoping that her side can bounce back, create some separation for themselves. I mean, this table in USL Super League is pretty stacked heading into tonight. Dallas in second place with 40 points, and just 3 points separate 5th from 2nd. And of course, Fort Lauderdale still just 3 points behind 4th place Spokane. Well, they've been a real tough stretch. Seen them fall from comfortably in a playoff spot to now 2 below the cut line as DC takes it away. Emily Colton lays it to the outside. Frilez puts it back towards the top of the area, and Amber Brooks steps in front of it and takes away for Dallas. Contact there and the foul given. Just on the note on Fort Lauderdale, they are winless in their last 5, 0-3-2. I don't think many envisioned that kind of collapse from them, but you look at the run that Tampa Bay is on, that Spokane is on. Tampa Bay 4 wins in their last 5, Spokane 4 wins in their last 5. Great time of the year to start stacking performances like that. And for Dallas, been inconsistent. They're 2-2-1 their last 5.
This is going to be a big test for Dallas because although they're high on the table, they're playing against a team that is already out, right? So it's how they're going to react to playing against a team that doesn't really have anything to play for right now besides their contracts. And what's important is at this point in the season is not really to react. You want to be proactive. You want to score the first goal and keep the score.
Right. I mean, it's an odd trend, an interesting trend that we noticed in preparing for this game. Dallas Trinity, they've lost 7 games this season, and 6 of those losses they've been shut out, which just speaks to the idea that they need to get out on the front foot. They need to be ahead and play with a lead.
It really just comes down to maturity. What is it that gets them to react? And that's a tough place for a coach to be in, because it really comes down to mentality of the squad. How do you motivate your team? You know your team is good. Technically, tactically, they have it all. But mentality-wise, that's something that you can't really work on.
And right now they're still trying to figure out life without Lexi Missimo. Out for the rest of the season with injury. This is their 4th game without her. They've won 1, lost 1, and drawn 1. They've scored 4 goals in those games. That is a huge missing piece for this side as they try and make a run. Allie Thornton puts it back into the mixer. Well defended by DC. And it's moved along to Kurosaki. Taken away by Dallas now. Thornton. Tamara Bolt, who is the team of the month in the month of April in Super League. This one over the top, Obugagu. And the whistle blows, and it goes in favor of DC.
Movements that Dallas are really good at are interchanging positions from the front 3. They like to rotate. They like to have a lot of movement. Thornton's going to come in deep to check in that ball, to let those spaces and those windows in the back open up.
We asked Pauline McDonald just the main message that she's trying to hammer home to this group the last few matches as they battle for home field in the postseason and just a spot in general, because as we said, there's a big bunch up in the table. She said, look, we're taking each match as it comes. 3 points is 3 points, whether it's in August, whether it's in May. You got to focus on the game at hand and not play a match to the occasion or what could happen. You start taking those distractions, that's when things start to go haywire.
The important thing is getting the points when you can, each and every chance that you can get.
Lancaster fires towards goal, and it's scooped up by Aquino, her first time being tested tonight. Cameron Lancaster, the TCU product. It's high press for Dallas. Worked out of well by DC, and now space for Power. Frilez, not a good ball there from Susanna Fitch, who's making her 24th consecutive start tonight. It's a team high. 4 VCU alums for Phil Nana and DC Power. You saw Palomo shadowing Gianna Gorley. Been such a nice addition to this group for DC, coming over from Fort Lauderdale. And this DC group, they might be second from the bottom and eliminated from the postseason contention. 4 wins, 12 losses, 8 draws, but they play hard. They're well structured. They're a difficult team to play against, and Pauline McDonald has seen a lot of growth in them. They don't concede a lot. They are able to go direct. And she notices a team that plays with energy, desire, and they really do fight for each other despite their win-loss record. And as you just saw, every single match in the spring so far has been decided by 1 goal. If you're going to beat them, especially on the road, you're going to have to work hard at it.
It's a team that's going to work hard off the ball. They're going to work for each other. And that's what you really want from a team, right?
Absolutely. I want to finish this season strong. Again, 5 matches left for them, including tonight. 4 against teams fighting for their playoff lives. Dallas, of course, one of those. Bolt towards the end line. Does a nice job to get around, then is fouled, and there will be a free kick coming. Duong was trying to defend, and Tamara Bolt and trying to get around her. Excuse me, that was Conte.
What a great battle between the two, and a really smart move by Bolt to throw herself.
She's able to draw the foul in an advantageous spot here for a free kick. Just one goal scored on direct free kicks this year for Dallas. An early opportunity here in the 10th minute. Ubogagu will take it. About a yard outside the penalty area. Tied for second in the league in assists with 5. Comes out in front, deflects, put towards goal. Never got all the way through. That one had reservations for the back of the net. Great job defending by DC Power.
It's so important for this Dallas team to be aggressive off the ball, win those first balls, and that's exactly what we saw. Palomo went ahead and took that shot.
It was Claire Constant who got in the way of that shot. Team captain. Now DC. Gonna put it towards goal, but the back was deflected right into the hands of Maddie White. Tied for first in the league in clean sheets. She's right behind Hope Heisey of Spokane in goals against average. Heisey at 0.94, Maddie White 0.95. That has been excellent in 2025. Plano, Texas native. Intercepted and taken by Dallas. They give it right back. They're constant. It's back for Aquino. Aquino, the Australian, last 3 years playing for her hometown side, Perth Glory. Easily taken by Ubogagu, and now Dallas will reset.
See what DC's trying to do. They're trying to progress off the field, and they're doing a good job with the back line, moving the ball around. But the thing is, getting it to the final third, connecting the final third, that's where they're having a lot of issues because there really isn't any movement from their forwards.
This is a good ball. Bolt catches up to it. Chased from behind by Conte. Tamara Bolt denied by Aquino. Best opportunity so far, and Bolt nearly had her second professional goal. Dallas takes it away one more time. Abiodun fell on it, able to pop back up, but turned over once more. And now DC will try and move. Good job stepping up on that left side. Palomo. DC has to reset. Aquino. Now for Myra Conte, the Vanderbilt product. Duong. Long down the right side. Fitch trying to get there. Palomo got in the way of it. Let's take one more look at that save by Aquino.
What a beautiful ball. Bolt is going to attack the space if it's given to her. Now this angle was very acute, so it's hard to get that ball in the back of the net. But if she would have cut in and maybe dragged it to her left and opened her body up a little bit, I can assure you it would have been a goal.
There's a couple of opportunities early on for Dallas. One blocked by Constant off the free kick, and big save by Aquino. These first 10+ minutes, it's been a good start for Dallas.
It's been a good start for Dallas. They're being patient on the ball, moving the ball around, not trying to force the ball forward, as we're seeing right now. But the key is to get that goal under the first 20 minutes to set that tone.
The biggest differences for this DC team in the spring. The organization on the pitch has improved tremendously. Obviously, that's allowed them to concede less than they did in the fall, but team chemistry, the communication, the effort has all risen. Thanks to the appeasement of Phil Nana. Cameron Lancaster tries to cross one in, deflects, and fortunately for Aquino, either way, would have been a corner, and it is.
Lancaster has a lot of personality. She's a player that's going to scrutinize the back line by using her quick footwork going at defenders.
So Obogagu gets it started quickly to Sealy Strawn. Back for Obogagu. Pops it forward. Cameron Lancaster tees it up, and the shot was blocked again. Out in front one more time. Cleared off the line. Obogagu chasing it down. Gianna Gorley blocked that first attempt. Nearly an own goal off the head of Constant, and it's another corner.
DC got saved in this, and it really comes down to the lack of communication, and they're coming out flat, right? You want the first defender to come out and call the ball. A lot of the times, Dallas was able to split them.
Just talking about their communication and how much it's improved. You know, broadcaster jinx. They go short on the corner again. Obogagu finds Lancaster, back for Obogagu, but they just cannot connect on the combination there, and it's out for a goal kick.
And you would think that the first time DC would understand where they made that mistake, but they came out again. They came out flat. Colton and Ferlez not being able to communicate off of each other.
There you see Sealy Strawn. Dallas been on the ball for most of this first quarter hour.
Dallas is doing a great job by pressing and keeping DC on one side of the field.
Can they keep that up for a full 90?
They should be able to keep that up for a full 90.
Late foul given as Conte went down. How can DC adjust to that?
They have to be aggressive off and on the ball. They need to be a bit more proactive, anticipate the plays, move into the spaces before.
Nice move. Ferlez fires towards goal, and it's deflected wide by White. Excellent opportunity and build-up by DC. Ferlez nearly had the home side in front 1-0, and they'll have their first corner of the match.
What a great combination by Gorley and Ferlez. You can see how they work off of each other amazingly. I would have liked to see a little bit more power behind that shot from Ferlez.
See what you did there. DC power, more power behind it. Well done. Gianna Gorley has fit in excellent with DC. Phil Nana saying she brings just a different level that they didn't have prior to her arrival. This game modeled the system they play. It's designed to fit players like her. This in-swinging corner grabbed out of the air by Maddie White. And so the opportunity goes to the wayside for DC, but Gorley and Ferlez, two players up top for DC, combining on the opportunity that led to it. Saying that not everybody can just come in and have the impact and score the way that Gorley has. Impressive tallies for Sealy Strawn. Turned back for Amber Brooks. Going wide to the far side. Obogagu. Brooks back on it. Abiodun turned it over. Abiodun Has it back. Flicked into the air, into the area. Trouble with the clear. Bugagu. Abiodun. Now Brooks, and they'll reset.
Dallas does a really good job by feeding it out to their wing backs to bring it back into the midfielders, and that's where they catch their opponent in a bad defensive stance.
Enter the Prinks Tires Tailgate Kit sweepstakes for a chance to win a prize pack worth up to $3,000. Scan the QR code on your screen now and enter tonight. Palomo. Turned back. Jenna Walker. And Tamara Bolt was in an offside position, so she had to come back. That rolls all the way out for a DC throw. Conte. Center back pairing with Madison Mernon. A little off target there from DC. Gifts a throw into Dallas. This is a Dallas team that has just one win in its last 4 matches. After great form the previous 5, they had 4 wins in their previous 5. And it has coincided a bit with the loss of Lexi Missimo. Again, they've played now, this is the 4th game without her. Still a strong team. Hope to prepare for the postseason. Earn that 2nd place in the table. This is a team that has a lot of names on the availability report. Fortunately, 8 players on it as of tonight.
On this DC side, I would like to see them a little bit less frantic on the ball. Whenever their midfielders get the ball, they let go of it quickly, which is sometimes good, but you have to know how to play the rhythm of the game, right? The game is a roller coaster, so you have to know when to pick up, when to be explosive, and when to calm it down.
Well, that's one of the things that Phil Nana talked to us about this week. One of the keys, he said, was how well do they choose to keep the ball, when to give it up. So far from what you're seeing in the midfield, a little bit too quick. Out in front one more time, but that one over the end line and out for a goal kick. Dallas retreating. Maddie White will get it started again. Bagley turned back by Tamara. Mernon going long. Fitch tracks it down. And it's going to be a corner for DC.
These are the moments that DC needs to capitalize on. Set pieces, corner kicks, because it really just comes down to mentality in the box. Winning that first ball, going in aggressive to get ahead on it.
Duong will take for DC. Be an outswinger. It's a good one. White rises.
What a great service by Duong. If only she would have curved it a little bit more to the 6.
She had Gorley making a run in behind. Nice move by Conte. Fitch for Colton. Cut off well by Abiodun. One is not to first by Lancaster, so it's out for a throw to DC. Frilez gets it in. That's by Obugu. And DC now gives up the throw to Dallas.
We're 25 minutes in, and now you're starting to see the difference between both teams, right? DC is now dying down. They're playing a low block, not moving the ball around when they have possession. It's sort of just frantic to get rid of it instead of moving off of each other, which will make the game a lot easier for them.
Always tough coming on the road, and that was part of the issue last week when they were up a player for the majority of the match. They just seemed a bit frazzled. You know, they were frustrating to not even get any kind of result playing up a player for that long. This comes wide. Mogu comes in front, and Dallas strikes first on the road. It's Sealy Strawn off the feed from Ubogu. Assist number 6 on the season. So tied for the league lead, and Sealy Strawn with the tally.
Ubogu will attack space and that cut in. She knew exactly when to do it. And Strawn checking in, holding her run and opening up her hips to place that ball lovely to that far post.
So now Dallas gets to play from in front after the goal by Sealy Strawn.
And it all came down to Strawn just holding her run, not being impatient to just get in the box.
4th of the season for Strawn. Tied for 2nd now on the team. Who else but Ubogu finding her for the assist.
Ubogu has great field IQ. She knows when to cut in, when to hold the ball. She makes a huge difference on that line, which makes her dangerous.
How does DC respond at home? Talked about it earlier. They played Dallas very tight this season, despite not coming away with a win yet. They've had 2 results, couple of draws. Now DC with Frilez. Broke down, I think. Tried to force something that wasn't there. Now Lancaster moves it ahead. Cut off by Mernon. Played to Aquino. Moves it for Constant. Now Colton to the outside. Frilez. Palomo cut her off.
It really comes down to who's going to take the leadership on this DC side to just voice on the field, hey everyone, calm down, let's hold the ball. Because it really isn't that complicated. It just comes down to who's going to take that leadership role.
And that's something that DC has seen a material difference in. They're able to communicate, the way they're able to put that chemistry together.
And I see what DC's trying to do. They progress really good out the back. It's just in that final third of the field or after they get over the half.
Bagley lays it ahead. Gorley. Oh, that's a beautiful recovery by Dallas. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Approaching the half-hour mark in this first half, Sealy Strawn, her 4th of the season. Just a few moments ago, has given Dallas the 1-0 advantage. Obogo. Abiodun.
I really enjoy watching Abiodun play. She's very comfortable on the ball.
Ooh, difficult spill there for Tamara, and this foul might draw a card.
It's easy to get frustrated when you're down a goal, and that's exactly what's happening here with Conte. She got in there a little late.
So she does get the yellow.
I will say that is a yellow, and that's just because she didn't anticipate the play. If she was there a little bit earlier, tight, that wouldn't have happened. These are plays that they need to be careful with.
Tamara still catching her breath as Pauline McDonald looks on. Asked Pauline McDonald keys for her tonight. She just kept it simple. Be better and play in the manner in which we want to play. Bogu will take this free kick. Thornton not been much of a factor this first 30 minutes. This is whipped into the area. Strawn trying to fight for it. Bogu. Brooks. Chested down. There's Thornton. And aggressively off her line, Aquino comes out. They did collide a bit. She's a bit slow to get up. Let's take one more look.
Dallas has been successful because of the counter attacks. And if Thornton would have used her arms, she would have definitely gotten in front of the defender.
Thornton, second in the league in the Golden Boot race with 11. Of course, right after we say she hasn't much of a factor, she has a threatening moment. And now again, it's Thornton. Allie Thornton with a banger! Number 12 on the season, right on cue, and Dallas Trinity are in front 2-0.
What a wonderful control by Thornton. And it all comes down from a counterattack. Thornton turns, she looked up, and that's exactly what a number 9 striker does. Exactly what she just did. She looks up and all she sees is the net. Bends it perfectly into the corner. That's something that you can't really teach. You're born with that. You're born to be a striker.
Comes in the 33rd minute. front again, but Maddie White out to nab it. So that goal by Allie Thornton outside the box, just the 5th time they've scored this season from outside the penalty area. 34 now of their 39 inside the box, but Allie Thornton has that skill, has that capability. Certainly in the conversation for the MVP, you would imagine. And now is right up there in the Golden Boot race.
A big part of being a good striker like Thornton is being ready for those counterattacks, because at any given moment you can receive a ball and you have to be quick to turn and shoot. And that's what sets the best strikers from the average ones.
Thornton now tied for first with Mia Corbin of Carolina with 12 goals. For most in the league. And now here comes Dallas on the counter again. Lancaster. Thornton wants it. Thornton gets it. Pass just a bit too far for her. And Aquino played it well coming off her line.
Lancaster is a cheeky, dangerous player. Because her steps are very short, because she has short legs, you never really know where she's going to go.
One comes all the way down and over the touchline for a throw to Dallas. 2 goals coming within mere minutes of each other. Celie Strawn and Allie Thornton.
I would like to see DC play a bit higher up the field.
Lancaster has it towards the middle, but Thornton the closest there, just more near her, and it's scooped up once more by Aquino. And fortunately for Aquino, neither goal really she could do much with. And that Allie Thornton strike was top class. Celie Strawn just set up so beautifully by Ubugu, who's done that.
They were perfect goals, and it was because Dallas was emphasizing on DC's errors. Quick counterattacks gets you places and gets you points.
Tamara for Lancaster. A bit of a miscommunication with Celie Strawn. Walker steps up, keeps it alive for Dallas. Aquino now will restart it for DC. Bioden in the midfield, just reset with one of the top goalkeepers in USL Super League, Maddie White. This Dallas team came in 6 points behind Carolina, the only team in the league to clinch a spot in the postseason. As Tamara just too heavy of a touch as it rolled over to Aquino. Dallas, if this result holds, will move to 4 points clear above Tampa Bay. Dallas just 2 matches left after this. Tampa Bay with 4 left. This ball down the right side for Fitch, but too far for her, and that allowed White to get extra aggressive off her line and clear it away. Comes to the near side. Handled by Bagley. Duong puts it wide for Fitch. Nice touch. For Les. Dallas able to gain control. They're able to, they do give it right back to a throw for DC. Conte playing with that yellow. Now it's Constant. Colton for Mernon. She moves it ahead. Colton back on it. Abiodun got in her way for Les, for Fitch. Susanna Fitch. Her and Gorley with a little bit of miscommunication there, chatting with each other. They find themselves down 2-0 as Phil Nana watches on.
You can see by his facial expression, he's struggling. How do you motivate a team when you're down 2-0? There really isn't anything he could possibly do at this point in the season.
They know the situation, they're well aware of it. They want to ride some momentum heading towards the end. And even though they're not thinking about it, you know they'd love to play spoiler as Lancaster speeds through. Tamara tracks it down in the corner. Conte watching her, tried to go through her. And again, this is a side in the spring that has played so many tight games. Each one decided by a goal, but Dallas right now pouring it on. They have showed in certain games throughout both the fall and the spring that they're able to, and they've got a couple of 6-goal performances this season, a handful of 3-goal performances. These two teams have played to a 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw, and a 1-0 win to Dallas. So this is a season high for Dallas in scoring against this DC power group. Come in this first half with the usual suspects, Celie Strawn and Allie Thornton.
You can see that Dallas is just trying to move the ball around, stretching DC to come out because they're playing so low. Dallas is looking so composed on the ball, comfortable.
The reason why they've got this first half lead away from home. Got bouncing back for them after a frustrating loss to Tampa Bay. Trying to fit that one through, did Gorley, but cut off by Hannah Davison. Tamara, watched by Conte. Trying to get it to the outside for Obogu, unable to.
I see what Tamara was trying to do, and those plays are dangerous because you catch defenders out of position. When you start to cut in as a wing back, the defensive line, if they're not organized, that's when those pockets open.
Abiodun, it's a nice job to win that. Gets it ahead to Obogu, who has 1 assist already. Amber Brooks, Team of the Month with Tamara in the month of April. Palomo fighting along that touch line. It's out for a DC throw. Just unable to get anything together. Dallas has a throw-in opportunity right back. Allie Thornton to the outside. Ubugu. Palomo spins back. Abiodun. Sent all the way back towards Maddie White, but Gorley was applying some pressure, and Frilez could not handle that. Throw in though for DC as this first half winds down. DC put something together here before the end of the first half. Haven't threatened all that often. Have had a couple of chances. Abiodun held up. The advantage. Tamara with room to the outside. Too strong of a touch. Cut off by Constant. On that end line, stayed in for DC. Oh no, bad giveaway there. Back heel. Here's Thornton. She has one already. I think she thought she had Amber Brooks coming forward, but and a miscommunication there. So 1 minute of added time in this first half. Abiodun for Palomo. Dallas, bad giveaway. The last person you want to give it away to. Gorley. Gianna Gorley. Gianna Gorley on her left foot. Two players went down. Gorley around the keeper. How did that not go?
Gorley did such a great job taking on 3 defenders. But it really comes down to that last moment to slot one in. She waited a little bit too long. She just needed to take a powerful shot.
So let's see what happened there. Gorley nearly cut the lead in half right before the half. Walker and then Davison took Walker out. White made herself big, and then Abiodun right on the goal line.
Gorley did a great job by using her arms in that first defender and using that speed in her body. What she really needed to do was just to take that shot a little bit earlier. She opened up too much.
And unfortunately for her side, that's a good microcosm of how that first half went. 2-0 to Dallas at the half. Goals by Celie Strawn and Allie Thornton. Thornton with her 12th of the year. That ties for the league lead in USL for the Golden Boot. And we're joined now by the first goal scorer tonight, Celie Strawn. She got Dallas on the board in the 26th minute. Celie, after the loss against Tampa Bay, how important was it for you guys away again to get off to the start you guys did?
Yeah, I think it was really important for us. You know, obviously it's tough after a loss to bounce back, but I believe in the team. I knew we could do it. That was just our message the whole week. Just keep fighting, keep going. You know, a team doesn't go bad overnight. So that was our message the entire week.
What did you think moments before scoring that goal?
Oh gosh, my mind was just racing, honestly, in a good way. Chioma, the one who assisted me, I call her my soccer mom, so it was honestly just a great moment to have her assist my goal. But yeah, it was a great assist, great build-up. It was good.
Celie Strawn scored a goal tonight, the first one to get Dallas ahead 1-0. Celie, thank you for your time. Good luck the rest of the way tonight.
Thank you.
Celie Strawn and Dallas Trinity with a 2-0 lead in the nation's capital. Fourth and final meeting between these two sides. All Dallas in the first 45. By Allie Thornton. Celie Strawn, big save at the end. DC will try and mount the comeback in half number 2.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
What launches this ball and finds the winner. Oh, what a play! It's a bending effort.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, graded assists. Gainbridge, graded assists for your savings.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Welcome back to Washington, D.C. It's 2-0 to Dallas Trinity at the half. Celie Strawn, Allie Thornton the goals for Dallas as we take a look around USL Super League at our news and notes. Can't believe it's already time. The league has unveiled the schedule for the 25-26 regular season, set to kick off on August 23rd. And we've talked about it all night long. Carolina Ascent, the only club to clinch the playoffs so far. 5 different clubs still in the hunt for the final 3 playoff spots. Not a lot of separation between them either. This could be an important result tonight for Dallas. Create some breathing room for them to stay in the top 2 and earn home field in the postseason. Brooklyn finally ended their 11-match winless streak, set a club record for most goals, a 4-1 win over Fort Lauderdale United. Good to see Brooklyn back in the win column.
Brooklyn keeps their playoff hopes alive this week with a win over Fort Lauderdale. We break down what helped them get that result. Plus, Marion and I give superlatives across the league, best newcomers, and some of the biggest losses we've seen this season. Plus, we are joined by Tampa Bay's Brooke Hendricks. She breaks down her rise through the professional ranks, an award she was given to by the Queen, and some of the superlatives she's giving out across the Sun roster.
We'll come back with more in DC after this, highlights and first half stats when we return. back in Washington, D.C., Audi Field. DC Power, the home side, trailing Dallas Trinity 2-0 at the half. Josh Appel, Chelsea Kabarkis with you as we take a look at our first half highlights. Chelsea, not much going for DC. They had a couple of opportunities, but this was the first goal that got Dallas off and running.
Ubagu with intelligence and composure, knowing when to switch directions and cut in, looks up and connects with Strawn, who held her run brilliantly. That was really key to this.
And stop me if you've heard this before. Allie Thornton scores a goal, her 12th of the year.
Quick counterattack. Great things happen from this with great pressing. Quick flick from Davison to Thornton. Thornton, by receiving that ball at an angle, made it so much easier for her to go ahead and curve that ball to that far corner.
An absolute banger for Allie Thornton. And then right before the half, Anna Gorley, who's been such a nice addition for DC, patient with it, but unable to finish.
Gorley scrutinizing that back line. Running at them at an angle with tight touches. She should have shot it earlier, maybe just put a toe on it to put that power behind the ball.
Maddie White came out to cut off the angle, then Abby Oden on the line cleared it away. Here are our halftime stats. Shots on target, 5-2 in favor of Dallas. Possession tipping in favor of Dallas Trinity as well, and of course the 2-0 scoreline. We will have the start of the second half when we return to Audi Field in Washington, D.C. It's Dallas 2, DC 0 at the half. Beautiful night in our nation's capital. At the half, 2-0, Dallas Trinity on top of DC Power. Josh Appel, Chelsea Kabarkis with you. Allie Thornton had the second goal for Dallas, and she pulls even with Mia Corbin in the Golden Boot race. Mia Corbin of Carolina Ascent. The season winding down. This is what you want to see. Golden Boot race coming down to the end.
Thornton has truly found her stride as a striker. When a player hits that kind of form, they become unstoppable. Everything becomes easy for them, and that's the kind of confidence that you want from your striker.
We'll see how the season finishes out. Just 2 games left after tonight for Dallas. 4 games left for Carolina. So we'll see who earns the Golden Boot in the first ever season of USL Super League. A couple of substitutions for DC as we get ready to start the second half. Loza enters for Myra Conte. And Madison Wolfbauer in as well for Yuka Kurosaki. Josh Appel, Chelsea Kabarkis, so glad you could be with us tonight. The 100th game of the inaugural season of USL Super League. Thornton tries to cross one in. It deflects out, and an early corner for Dallas, but DC protesting. They don't think this was touched. A bad break for DC. Dallas will certainly take the opportunity. They go short with Lancaster. Lancaster takes another deflection, and we'll have another chance at a corner.
I would like DC to play a little bit more higher in this half. It's going to make it a lot easier for them in possession during their counterattacks.
See if they make that adjustment. Zubugu gets it in. Lancaster back for Abugu. She fires one in towards goal. Back post! And just ran out of room. It's a solid attempt at it, but Brooks and Davison just ran out of room by that back post.
What an amazing service by Ubagu. If she would have curved it a little bit more inside,
she might have scored on her own.
It would have been a goal. It would have been a goal.
Good job keeping it in by Fitch. They say it did go over the touchline for a Dallas throw. Loza Abera, Madison Wolfbauer, summing on in the second half for Phil Nana. As DC try to find their way back into this one. Gorley nearly put them on the board right at the end of the first half. Ferlez also had an opportunity as well earlier in the first half, and play a team like Dallas that is as prolific in the attack. Get back on those opportunities. You want to make sure that you capitalize on them. Chelsea, as a former player yourself, when you get those kind of golden chances, you don't cash in on them. You find yourselves down at home. How frustrating can that be?
It's very frustrating because you're trying to find the rhythm on the field still. A game can change at whatever given moment, right? And it's just taking that leadership on the field.
That was too much.
Not sure what happened there with Aquino, but Aquino.
Dangerous ball. Bauer keeps it alive for DC. Susanna Fitch, 24th consecutive start tonight. Plays it to the middle. Ferlez. Wide to nobody. And unable to keep that in was Gorley. Don't forget, every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the Sirius XM app. Just underway in this second half. Race is on. Wolfbauer shielding off Lancaster. But it's Brooks. Abiodun.
Abiodun is doing a great job
Thornton.
progressing on the field, passes the ball and moves into space.
There she is again.
You can see that Dallas is playing a high line. They're slowly progressing up the field.
Tamara trying to fire it in front. Flex off Wolfbauer and out for another corner. Already the third in the first 5 minutes for Dallas in the second half. Obogu, who assisted on the Sealy Strawn goal. 17-year-old Strawn's fourth of the season. Obogu at the top of the league in assists. Well played by DC. Their breakout not great. Dallas right back on the ball. Walker. Uh-oh. Dallas fortunate to escape that.
That could have turned terrible.
No kidding. So one bad touch. DC takes advantage. It's a brand new game. I always say 2-0 the most dangerous lead. Forget how effective Dallas has been in the attack in the second half this season. Well over half of their goals have come in the second 45 minutes. They got 2 in the first half tonight.
This is a good test for them that they were able to get 2 goals in the first half and maintain the score.
DC has played them tough this season. Hadn't scored more than a goal in any of the 3 matches, the previous 3. Bagley. Sent long by Duong. Zabera trying to get there, but flag was up for offside.
DC is having a very hard time connecting, not moving for each other the way I would like them to move.
Still trying to get her footing. She's coming on as a sub here in the second half. Palomo, who debuted in the middle of last month.
She's been playing great.
Yes, she has. She has played every single minute since joining this group, now her 5th game.
What has surprised me about her is that she's a short left back, but she's so aggressive and feisty. She's able to get those balls. She has a high hop as well because she's good in the air.
There's a reason why she hasn't come off the pitch. She's joining this Dallas team. And they've got 8 players on the availability report. So you know their depth has been tested, and she has been a welcome addition for Pauline McDonald. Duong. The switch, it's a good ball for Fitch. On Palomo, top of the area. It's Duong. Now fired towards goal! Bar down! What a strike! DC back in it!
What a golazo. Great things happen when you switch the point of attack.
Loza Abera with a wonder strike. And DC has cut it to 2-1.
And it all started with a great combination between Fitch Duong and just being patient on that box, in the top of the box. What a brilliant strike by Abera.
It's so hard for teams to beat Maddie White. She got a piece of it, but it was so well placed. It's the second goal of the season, and it comes in the 55th minute for Abera. She makes her presence known less than 10 minutes. She's coming on the pitch as a second half sub, making her head coach, Phil Nana, looking like he's pushing all the right buttons. Now Dallas, how do they respond? Ubugu on the turn. Started though Chelsea on that great ball on the switch from Bagley to Susanna Fitch. Got it to Duong, laid it off. And the finish, of course, by Abera.
And that happened because of lack of communication from Dallas, their center backs. They weren't able to communicate on time to be able to shift. And that's when you really have to be proactive. Your center backs should be seeing a play before it even happens.
Brooks for Hannah Davison. That's past Tamara and all the way out for goal kicks. The momentum starting to come back a little bit for DC, and you think back to that moment at the end of the first half. What if Pauline McDonald maybe thought her team could cruise this half with a 2-goal advantage on the road? Now has to tighten things up a bit.
The first 3 minutes after that goal is the perfect time for DC to come back. Because Dallas, it's normal for them to get frantic after they've just been scored on. So players are going to get out of position.
Abby Oden for Tamara. Bagley was pressuring her. Now Bagley on Davison, wreaking havoc. The high press for DC, causing some trouble for Dallas right now. Adi Palomo. Dallas with goals from Strawn and Thornton in the first half. Loza Abera off the bench. In the second half has made it a 1-goal game. This is something that Phil Nana has certainly seen from his group since taking over as the interim. Loves the progress they've made, loves the effort. He's really seen a ton of improvements. He said, look, we have our goals every single week. Individual, collective goals. Use those goals to help guide them, assess their progress, and he really feels that the results will come. They set their goals and follow them. As they still try and put a stamp on their identity. They know who they want to be. Fortunately for them, it hasn't gone their way this season. Their first win of the spring coming a couple of weeks ago against Brooklyn 1-0. But as we've pointed out tonight a few times, they have been in every single match in the spring, each one decided by 1 goal. Their losses are right on the cusp. And a player like Gianna Gorley can get some quality. Frilez, quality like we just saw from Loza Abera. This team doesn't feel all that far off from competing in the future.
DC really does a good job playing out of the back. Their back line has been fantastic moving the ball around. It's just really that final third or being able to connect with the outside
DC
mids.
threatening again, coming back post. And all alone making the run. Susanna Fitch. Gorley also got a piece of it in front of goal. Bagley having a good start to the second half.
This is when mistakes are going to start to happen for this Dallas side, and this is when maturity comes in. Their back line, they're getting caught really high a lot of the times, shifting to one side and not being balanced, and that's why these balls are getting through.
Lancaster turning on the Jets. Has Fitch chasing her, moves it ahead for Thornton, and Thornton was cut off nicely by Claire Constant, the team captain. Now for a goal kick for Morgan Aquino and DC. Comes all the way down for Maddie White. Such a phenomenal season, the Plano, Texas native. On loan from Racing Louisville. Tied for first in the league with 9 clean sheets. She's right there with Hope Heisey. Goals against average.
My respect to goalkeepers. It's not easy being a goalkeeper.
No, it's not. A lot of pressure being in that spot. A lot of responsibility. She has been one of the league's best. Does have 2 clean sheets this season against this DC club. Have one tonight though, thanks to the strike in the 55th minute from Loza Abera.
It's funny because usually we all make fun of goalkeepers normally because we all say they have to have something crazy up there to throw themselves. And normally the goalkeeper is usually the craziest one on the team with a lot of personality.
What's the most superstitious thing or the most goalkeeper antic that you've seen from a goalkeeper you've played with in your career?
Being really loud.
Yeah?
They're always loud.
Bugu has an assist tonight. Retreating. This match a little over an hour old now. This comes down for Colton. Plays it back outside. Gorley. Gorley steps into it, laying out in front, and it's put home. And DC, from 2-0 down, levels it at 2. Susanna Fitch.
And we hit it earlier. Maturity comes into play. What a great hit by Gorley, and Fitch just being ready for that rebound in the right place at the right time. Fantastic work from this DC side. A game can change at any given moment.
Dallas must be shell-shocked. It took less than 20 minutes for this 2-0 lead to evaporate. And now Hinson will come on for Dallas in just a moment. Hinson will replace Samara. Hoping to provide a spark, but Chelsea, right before that goal was scored, the previous trip down, Fitch was all alone on that back post as well. And there she had so much space to gather that rebound, get a touch on it, before firing at home. They can't leave players alone like that.
Fitch has been really successful because she's peeling out. She's staying out wide, forcing that left back to make a decision to step with her and open up that gap or stay tight to her center back. And this is when center backs really come into play. This is when you have to show your maturity on the field. You have to be very organized and clear with the communication.
What a time for Susanna Fitch in her 24th consecutive start this season to net her first goal of the season. And Frilez for DC, they want the lead. Abera wide, Abera misses the target. Dallas really on their heels right now.
DC's becoming dangerous now. They have the confidence and that energy. This is when they're going to be dangerous in the next few minutes, 5 minutes. This is when Dallas needs to step up and be aggressive, get a foul, slow down the game, change the tempo.
I thought they were likely cruising to a victory tonight. A flawless first half, aside from the one opportunity at the end. But it has unraveled for them in the first 20 minutes of the second half. They're coming off of a really frustrating, as we talked about it earlier, 1-0 loss against Tampa, in which they were up a player for the majority of the match. Can they find a third goal and reclaim the lead?
And I don't know if you're realizing, but now DC's moving the ball around quick, catching Dallas out of position.
I mean, this does not resemble a club that is second bottom from the table.
No, it really doesn't. It shows that this team has what it takes, to be top of the table. It's just sometimes things don't click. You just don't have luck.
They're feeling themselves after their first victory of the spring. So many close games. Now they're in another tight one.
The thing is that DC now in the second half, they're playing with their two wing backs out wide, really giving that depth and width on the field.
Brooks trying to go over the top, but Ugo was offside. And I think it speaks a lot, Chelsea, to what Phil Nana has brought as the interim head coach. You figure a team that's eliminated from the postseason, season winding down. Dallas, a team they haven't beaten this season, down 2-0 at halftime at home. Maybe some teams would pack it in. But the mentality of this group to claw and fight back, truly impressive, as Fitch will not be able to chase that down.
It's very impressive, but these women are playing for each other, right? They're playing right now for their contracts for next season. It's not as if they're not playing for anything.
Right.
It's going out with some type of dignity.
Absolutely, and they are, as we said, not alive in the playoff race anymore, but they are certainly alive to affect it, with 4 of the next 5 to finish the season, including tonight, against teams fighting for a playoff spot.
If I were coaching this DC side, the first thing that I would change is how they press. I would like them to be a little bit more higher up the field so that during the counterattacks, they don't have to cover so much space and they're able to progress a lot quicker.
This one comes all the way to Aquino. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. I'm reading that newsletter every week. Proud subscriber. 70th minute, 2-2, Dallas and DC. The goal scorers, Sealy Strawn, Allie Thornton. And a 2-0, and then 2 unanswered to level it. So Abera, Susanna Fitch. Dallas sitting second in the Super League table. Top 2 get home field. Carolina, by the way, can clinch a home playoff game if Lexington wins this weekend. I mentioned that DC took down Brooklyn in the last match for their first win of the spring. Brooklyn is eliminated this weekend with a loss and a Tampa Bay win. Saw the matchups a moment ago. So that is out for a throw.
What a wonderful tackle by Palomo. It was all ball and so clean. I really enjoy seeing tackles like that because I was never able to slide tackle in that manner. So when I see someone slide tackle, so perfect.
That was textbook.
I get a bit jealous.
I'm sure you held your own. Off the throw. Gurley along the end line. Does a nice job to feed that into the area, but Dallas a better job defending. Wolf Bauer. Odin. Bauer tracks it down. Odin. Pressure by Furley's. And now Thornton. Tied for first in the Golden Boot. Lancaster just could not handle that pass.
Beautiful combination in the middle of the park by Dallas, being able to break 2 lines.
Final 20 minutes here at Audi Field. Thornton, a lot of contact. Nothing there, says Caitlin Trowbridge. Palomo. Has it back. Given away. Worley. Ahead for Fitch. For Les, for Fitch. Now Abera. She scored the first DC goal. Fitch has the second. Cross comes in towards the back post. Settled down by Colton. Worley again. Hinson on it for Dallas. And calmly. Now reset. Make this final push here.
That was a perfect example of when DC has that lack of communication. A goalkeeper shouldn't be that high up and get out of a situation that you have 4 DC players around.
Moved ahead. Walker. Touch there just too much by Lancaster again. So DC able to take over. Bauer's second half sub. Goes long. Trying to find Fitch. That's Palomo who gets there first. And White able to play it, but over the head of Abugu. One of the things that Phil Nana said this week, I asked him, how do you reflect back on this season? What are some of the biggest lessons that he's learned? So the league is very competitive. You never know what to expect, of course, coming into an inaugural season. Coaches are at a high level, and it's a challenge every week. From distance, just high over the bar. Ambitious attempt from Bagley. Nana has watched this team grow. He said it's been a cool and incredible journey, and tonight is a great example of what he's seeing.
Bagley attacking that space, not being timid at all, looking up. If she would have put her body a little bit more over the ball, then it would have been a good strike.
Space for Palomo. Final 15 minutes.
You can see Lancaster trying to talk to her teammates, telling them, I need movement, I need something, I have the ball. You're just standing and watching. It can be really frustrating for a midfielder when your forwards are just not moving.
Just not having that connectivity, final third in this half. They really have not threatened much at all. Whistle blows here. Caitlin Trowbridge stopping play. Maddie White is down on the other end of the pitch. That's not good for Dallas. So 2-2 our score. Strawn and Thornton for Dallas in the first half. Barra and Fitch in the second, separated by just 8 minutes. The Dallas goal separated by just 7. So each team has scored their 2 goals in bunches. Pauline McDonald trying to find some answers. Get her team 3 points tonight, of course. A result away from home is nice, but when you build out a 2-0 lead, you want to make sure you secure the 3.
This is a perfect time for Dallas to regroup and basically get it together. Tell each other, okay, what is it that we're doing wrong? Let's pick it up, take leadership on the field, let's move the ball around. And it's unfortunate for DC because they had the tempo going, so this can kind of break their tempo.
Take a look at the Super League standings. Up to the minute. If this result holds, Dallas will be 2 points clear of Tampa. There you see that logjam. Fort Lauderdale, 3 back of Spokane. Just 5 points separate 3rd place Tampa and 6th place Fort Lauderdale. A lot to figure out. This will likely go right down to the final day of the season.
I would have never expected for Brooklyn to be in 5th place given how they started the season.
It's been one of the stories of the year in the league.
It really shows that when a club, especially in women's soccer, when a club has a lot going on off the field, it starts to show on the field.
Been through a coaching change, venue change.
It needs to be better.
They're hoping that they can at least overcome that this year and find a way to crack that top 4. Such a tremendous fall. Maddie White stays in the match. We're back underway. Abby Oden now down behind the play after that collision. Just clutching a right knee. Dallas is back on the ball. Abby Oden's still down, and now we get another stoppage for injury. Let's hope that Abby Oden's okay. Deb Abby Oden, mainstay in the midfield for Dallas. Here's what happened.
It looks as if she stepped wrong and they collided at a wrong moment.
She's already got that tape on her knee. Concerning moments for Pauline McDonald.
never good when a player goes down because of their knee.
Just imagine the stress in the moment. Just trying to stretch out that right knee is, again, both teams have a chance to regroup here before these final 10 minutes and added time. You mentioned what you thought was being discussed with Pauline McDonald and Dallas. What do you think is being talked about on that sideline for DC with Phil Nana?
They need to apply the pressure. They need to get another point. Play exactly the way that they've been playing. Peel out wide. Really give the team depth and width, because that's where they're finding their most success.
Abiodun is up on her feet, barely putting any weight on that right leg. So Dallas will make that substitution, as fortunately unable to finish important part of the midfield. Deb Abiodun. Gracie Bryan will come on to replace her.
It's going to be a big void to fill with Abiodun out. Although Gracie Bryan has 3 goals this season, all on the road.
What a time it would be for her 4th. Palomo getting it started for Dallas. Ubugu moves it inside for her. Trying to find Thornton. Dispossessed. Well done by DC. And now Abera, who has the first DC goal, puts on the brakes. Ubugu watching her. Wolfbauer. Ill-advised. Thornton. She had Celie Strawn making a run through the middle, but decided to attempt on goal herself. Fans, you can stay informed about all things Super League by visiting the USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into USL Super League. It's USLSuperLeague.com. Josh Appel, Chelsea Kabarkis with you. Fun match tonight in DC. Dallas jumped out to a 2-0 advantage. DC stormed back with 2 goals in 8 minutes in the second half. 2 goals, 6-7 minute span in the first half by Dallas. Can either team find the go-ahead?
Now starting to see that Dallas is not playing as high. They're reacting. They're not as organized. When one player presses, they don't have the second defender, and you can even see it by the body language on the player with the players.
For a DC throw. Thornton's goal in the first half tied her for the Golden Boot lead. Chioma Ubugu, her assist on the Strawn goal, put her into a tie for most assists in the league. And they combine on another. DC, they're trying to take the lead. Colton puts it towards goal, comes out, towards goal again. Palomo in the right spot, still flicked around in the area, and finally, Maddie White falls on it. Anna Gorley has had a few touches tonight in front of goal, but has been unable to get one by.
What I'm not liking is the disorganization of the back line from Dallas. They're not talking. One defender stepping, and then you have Palomo really far out, leaving that space.
Ubugu stepped in front of that, sprung it forward, but Bauer got there first. Nasty challenge. Play rolls on. Or does it? Nope, they got the whistle there. Wolf Bauer. Headed away by Dallas, kept alive by DC. They play the advantage. Towards goal, White. Go right through off the shot from Colton. From distance tonight, DC has not been afraid to test Maddie White.
DC hasn't been afraid of taking those shots from outside the 18, and it shows a lot of personality.
It's going to be a corner here late for DC. Katie Duong. Duong with the in-swinger. Headed away by Brooks. Cleaned up by Lancaster, but right back on it, Madison Mernon. Outside Duong again. Finds Bagley. She's dispossessed. Sealy Strawn, who scored the first goal tonight. Sealy Strawn, the 17-year-old, that's such a strong season. As now we get a couple of substitutions for Dallas. Hallie Thornton coming off. Natalie Wagner, Lucy Shepard come on. Wagner replaces Lancaster, so two changes up top. You surprised that Thornton's coming off here?
I'm surprised that they're both coming off, that Thornton and Lancaster, just because I feel as if those are their only two creative outlets in that final third. But sometimes a coach needs to make a decision like this because he needs to shake things up a little bit.
Shepard's appearing in her 16th match. She's got 3 assists this year. And for Wagner, what a time to come on. Just her 4th appearance. Made her debut back on March 9th, set to graduate high school this year, and she'll play her college ball at Arkansas. Trying to make an impact here before the end of this one.
It's so incredible to see young players like this play in a professional league, having that outlet to even have this.
Yeah.
I didn't have this growing up.
It's a wonderful opportunity.
The women's game is evolving so quickly, and every one of us has played a part in that, right? I mean, knowing that my generation helped pave the way for today's players to have these kind of opportunities really fills me with pride. But I just really hope that these players understand the responsibility that they now carry to keep pushing forward, to keep this game evolving.
And I asked Pauline McDonald on our call about just getting to the 100th game of this season, inaugural year of USL Super League. And she spoke to that point that you brought up as well. You know, it creates an avenue for academy, role models for young players, additional exit route for college players to come play professionally. As this comes out for Wagner, and she hits the DC player in the face.
Which to me, it also seems like a handball because her hands went up.
Let's see what happened. Hinson. And then Strawn for Wagner. Right off the face. Ooh.
No, it wasn't a handball at all. Very unfortunate for her. Those balls hurt.
It was Mernon who unfortunately took that. She's sitting up now as her interim head coach Phil Nana looks on. This team has put up a wonderful fight tonight after falling behind 2-0 at home. They battle back here in the second half. Wagner, who took that shot, watches on. Good to see Murnin on her feet. A little bit of a wry smile. We're going to have plenty of stoppage time. 2 or 3 injury stoppages. So we'll see the official number, but it could be significant. We'll have 7 minutes of added time. Dallas, of course, might be content with the 1 point on the draw, but when you consider their multi-goal lead against a team that's eliminated from postseason contention, I think they'll think back to last week against Tampa, this week where it's an extra 5 points where they potentially left it on the table, but still plenty of time to get that go-ahead and the winner here in stoppage time.
It's what I hit before, Josh. These games are important, especially for Dallas. Games like this is when you really see character and personality. And personality and character is what wins championships at the end of the day.
See what kind of character Dallas shows. Foul going the other way in favor of DC. Colton. Now Wolfbauer. Space on that right side. Ahead for Fitch. She scored the equalizer. Susanna Fitch trying to create room for herself. Maybe trying to earn a deflection in a corner, but it was well defended by Wubugu. And it's out for a goal kick. DC is going to make a substitution. Charlie Estcourt on for her 16th appearance. She'll come on for Friles. Fresh legs for these final 5 minutes of stoppage time. Nearly given away by Dallas. It's now for a throw to DC. Flick towards the middle by Ibarra. She scored tonight off the bench. Allie Thornton subbed out. Time for the league lead in goals. Scored tonight. Winner will have to come, if it does, someone else. Comes into the penalty area. Well defended by DC, and they can start it the other way. Good recovery by Wagner. What an effort. Trying to find Strawn. Pressuring Murnin. Out for a Dallas throw. Not a great one. DC able to take it right away. Duong hands it right back. Davison. Brooks. Good ball. Fitch gets there. Ahead for Ibarra. Cuts to her left. Ibarra! Her second of the night is the third unanswered for DC, and they lead it in stoppage time.
What an incredible, incredible play by this DC side. Shows so much personality. It all started with Fitch peeling out wide, giving the width. And Ibarra just knowing exactly when to check in to receive that ball with her far foot, cut in, look to the corner and bend the ball. Magnificent.
Unbelievable. Dallas led 2-0. And now in the 5th minute of stoppage time, Ibarra has a brace and DC have the lead. So now, can Dallas pull off the equalizer and escape with a point? I mean, this went from a cruising to 3 points tonight to potentially coming away with nothing a week after they played up a player and lost.
This is a situation that shouldn't happen to a second-place team on the table. Really comes down to maturity, and I've hit it earlier in the game. I hit it in the pregame as well, and they were going to be tested.
Now we just await the final whistle. Dallas seems shocked, and they should be. They were in full control.
DC has shown so much personality.
By the way, don't take anything away from the quality of the goals either tonight.
The
from
qualities
DC.
of the goals were magnificent.
Again, I think they proved throughout the whole night that this does not look like a team that is second bottom from the table, eliminated from the postseason. They have shown themselves well tonight, as DC will make one more sub. Nyong'o will come in, and Duong will come off.
What a great confidence booster. A win against Brooklyn, now a win against Dallas.
Dallas, maybe time for one more push. Awaiting the final whistle from Caitlin Trowbridge. Flicked towards the touchline. Kept in by Murnan. DC with it. And a yellow comes out for Hannah Davison. Maybe one out of frustration for her. This playoff race in USL Super League looked like Dallas would create some breathing room for themselves. They are right smack dab in the thick of it.
I would love to interview a Dallas player to ask them, what exactly is going through your mind right now? What happened?
I think they're asking themselves that same question. Hinson, again, not much time left, at the mercy of Caitlin Trowbridge's whistle. And there it is. DC Power with 3 unanswered in the second half. A brace by Loza Ibarra. They storm all the way back and steal the 3 points away from Dallas Trinity, who will be certainly disappointed with tonight's result.
What a great game by DC. I want to congratulate them because they showed a true performance, especially for Ibarra coming in off the bench and scoring 2 goals, making that difference. It's not easy to come off the bench and change the tempo of the game.
Chelsea, this team had not won a game all spring, and they play spoiler last week or 2 weeks ago against Brooklyn 1-0. They come back home, they play spoiler against Dallas. They won back-to-back matches, 3-2 in come-from-behind fashion here at home tonight behind 3 second-half goals. Back with more in DC after this. It's a final here in DC. DC Power with their second consecutive win, 3-2 over Dallas, 3 unanswered goals in the second half after falling behind 2-0. Josh Appel, Chelsea Kabarkis, now joined by Susanna Fitch, who tonight started her 24th consecutive game. Susanna, you came in tonight, no goals, no assists this year. What better time to get your first goal and your first assist, the equalizer and the go-ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Take us through those two and just kind of the fight that you saw from your team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously going down 2-0 at half is rough, but our team has shown so much resilience this year, and we fought all the way, and credit to Loza for coming onto the field and just changing the game, and she had 2 amazing goals, so I give her player of the match. She did a great job, and the team just worked so hard, so it was a really fun game.
Fitch, the game changed tremendously in the second half. What was said during halftime?
Yeah, we had to make a few changes in the middle. We were positioned a little bit wrong, so we changed that up, and it made a world of difference. And I think also you saw that we didn't stop fighting. We kept a high press on them, and I think we wore them out a bit. And, yeah, we were able to find the goals.
Susanna, I know you wanted to go celebrate with your team. We'll relinquish you now to go celebrate this win. Congratulations on a wonderful night for you guys.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Of course. A goal, the equalized, the assist on the winner, 3-2. As we take a look at our match highlights. Dallas, a great start. 2 goals in the first half. This was the first one from Sealy Strong.
Ubogagu with intelligence and composure, knowing when to switch and turn it on, cut in, and just make that play to Strawn, who held her run brilliantly, because that made all the difference.
We saw some wonderful strikes in this game. Allie Thornton now tied for the league lead in goals in that Golden Boot race. This one, pure class.
Great things happen when you have a quick counter attack and you have a striker like Thornton ready to receive that ball, turn and strike it in.
And it was 2-0 to Dallas at that point. We thought they were cruising to 3 points. But Susanna Fitch, the Duong, who set up Loza Abera right off the bench and into the back of the net.
What a combination by these 3. Duong waiting patiently to go ahead and flick it off to Abera, and Abera just taking that one-touch shot.
And much like Dallas did in the first half, just moments later, it was Susanna Fitch off the rebound from the shot from Gorley, who was all alone on that back post, tough angle. Was able to beat Maddie White and equalize in the 63rd.
I always say, if you take that shot, be ready for a rebound, and that's exactly what this front three did. Fitch was ready for that rebound, the right place at the right time, with composure, taking that shot.
And here was the winner. Abera back to her left. You want to talk about class like we did with Thornton. I mean, this is the second goal, the winner in the 5th minute of stoppage time, a brace off the bench in the second half.
This all came because of the switch point of attack, right? Fitch peeling out wide, giving width, and giving that ball to Abera, who was able to just cut in and take a shot.
A tale of two halves for Dallas. Talked about it with Susanna Fitch. She came in, 24th consecutive start, leading the team in minutes, no goal contributions, and what a night. Come up with a goal and an assist. Shots about even, shots on target about even, but that was not the case after the first half. DC Power pulling off the comeback and the upset, and of course, as we wind down in this season, we are going to be locked in on this table. Dallas Trinity looked as if they would pull within 3 points behind Carolina, give themselves some breathing room above Tampa Bay, but they remain just 3 points up above the cut line.
What's beautiful about this game of football is that anything can happen at any given moment. It's like we saw DC pull through tonight, and we're looking at the standings right now. Things can change.
Well, that'll do it for us here from Audi Field in Washington, D.C. A fantastic match tonight. 3 unanswered goals in the second half for DC Power. They've won back-to-back games for the first time. Dallas searching for answers, back-to-back losses. For Chelsea Kabarkis and our entire crew, this is Josh Appel saying so long from Audi Field in D.C. Once again, your final score, DC 3 and Dallas 2. We'll talk to you next time.